Hey guys, OPB here. Had a question asked of me by a friend who recently just got into preparedness, judging by the world situation. Again, I'm sorry about the lighting there. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning right now, and there's next to no light. I'm on my way to work, so treat this as an audio-only kind of video, I guess. Anyways, I had a question asked of me recently by a friend who recently got into preparedness. What are you going to do about information, judging, and the topic was on weather. How are you going to know when to shelter, when to make a fire, when to break camp, when to move, etc., etc.? And it got me thinking about generations before us. You know, everyone now tends to try to take the weather off of what the guy on the news says, right? Well, my great-grandfather, who's still alive, he's about 90 years old, was a fisherman his entire life. And he can tell you in the morning, pretty much to the minute, when the rain's going to roll in, just by looking at the clouds and the feeling in the air. Now that's a lifetime of doing it, of reading the signs, of reading nature. Same gentleman can also go out in the woods and be gone for months on end and be fine. He did it. So it just goes to show we got a lot of things to learn from the older generation. I know a lot of younger people are guilty of, oh, you crazy old man. A lot of people are guilty of that, not even younger people. People in their 40s and their 50s are still guilty of that. So, there's stuff we can learn from older generations. And I just took that off the question of weather. It got me thinking. They knew when to break camp, when to set up camp, when to start a fire, where to be in certain weather conditions, just by living it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you guys got to get out there and do it. There's, you can read all the books, you can watch all the videos, you can do whatever. But until you actually get out there and get your hands dirty and gain that skill, because humans are creatures of habit. Okay, we tend to do the same thing every single time. Or a variance of that, but not far off from the original task. Which also makes us very predictable, which is I'll get into in a later video that I'm thinking about doing on tracking and counter-tracking. E&E, evasion and escape. I do some training in that, so I'll be making a video on that. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Again, I'm sorry about the lighting here. It's pretty early in the morning, and I'm just heading to work. So, another topic on that weather question. How do I know when to set up shelter? Well, as I was saying, my great-grandfather can tell you pretty much to the minute by looking at the clouds and feeling the air when the storm's going to roll in. Pretty much to the minute. So learn how to read those clouds. He always said to me, if it feels heavy when you walk outside, it's going to rain. If it feels light, it'll be sunny. Now, last time I saw him, I was about 10 years old. I haven't been back home in a while. But something to be said about that. And how do I know when to make camp? Over the years, I've slowly started to be able to do the same thing. Now, I'm nowhere near as accurate. It might be a couple hours off. But you can do it. You got to read your situation around you. For example, in a survival situation, depending on the weather and the environment you're in, it may not be beneficial to set up a shelter right away. And I'll be getting into basics of survival in another video. But I'm just using that as an example. So my response to my friend was start getting comfortable in nature. He grew up in a big city here in Canada. So did I. Grew up in the same city, although I left. So, and he's not one for camping, right? So I said to him, I said, you got to start getting out there and get practicing. Be comfortable in doing the things. Be comfortable in your environment that's not concrete. Human beings are not meant to live in concrete. Okay? And I said to him, you're going to notice once you start being out in the bush, out in the fields, out in the mountains, you're going to become much more in tune with everything around you. You're going to take things with a higher gratitude when you come back to them after being out there. And it's going to make you want to strive to have that connection. And through that connection, I believe that just by being out in the bush, out in the hills, out in the fields, you're going to start to notice patterns in nature. And weather is obviously part of that. You'll start learning when the storms are going to come in. You're going to start learning when the snow's going to start to fall. You're going to learn when it's going to get hot, when it's going to get cold, when it's going to be wet, how wet the ground is just by looking at it. Because the ground can look completely dry but be a swamp underneath it. You're going to learn that. So again, my message to all you guys is get out there and do it. Get your hands dirty and learn your environment. Create that connection with nature and you guys will be alright. OPB out.